Yes, hello. Sasa hivi mnanisikia vizuri?
Yeah, saizi uko poa.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can you update me? Karibuni kwenye webinar yetu ya DSE. Tutakava kwenye areas za rules. We are waiting for the other members to join. You will be with me, McLeod Edson, Sarah Mrema, Mary Mniwasa, and Peter Nalitolela, who is the CEO. We are going to have you here, but we are waiting for others to join. I think from 4:20, we are going to start our session. Please be with us for 6 minutes from now.
Sita tu.
Yes, hello. Good evening. I'm speaking from DSE McLeod Edson. Together with me, I'm with this Madam Sarah. Let's introduce herself to us.
Okay, I'm Sarah Mrema, Chief Market Operation Officer, heading Trading Department. You're welcome all to this session of amendment of the rules and the implication to issuer, brokers, investor, and the market. Karibuni.
Asante. Because we are working from different areas apart from Madam Sarah, let's check if Madam Mary is online. Mary Mniwasa, if you're online, maybe she will join sometimes later. Peter, our CEO. Okay, they will join while we are proceeding. As we announced, we have amended our rules, which we refer them as DSE CSD Rules 2022, which come into effect from April 2022. We're going to cover areas on the revisions or areas that was revised in 2024, and they will be effective from 2nd July 2025, 2nd June 2025. In our session, we are going to cover almost 6 areas. The first is an overview of the DSE Rules 2022 that was revised. Also, we'll look on the key drivers for 2024 updates. We'll look on the key rules that has been amended. Also, we'll look on the rationale and implications. And the last, we'll look on the areas of next steps and issues related to compliance and deadlines. Finally, we'll welcome some questions if members will be having some few issues for clarification or for inquiry. On the area of overview, we have highlighted the overview of the DSE rules, CSD rules. We have 11 sections, which we refer as part 1 to part 11. The part 1 of the rules is preliminary information, which covers page 1 to page 12. There's no change in this area. Part 2 covers the governance of the DSE. Part 3 covers the power of the exchange of the DSE. On part 4, we have 2 divisions. Division 1 and Division 2. Division 1 covers membership of the exchange. I think most of the LDMs are covered here, listed companies and so on. Those members who are applying for the membership in the custodian banks and so on. Part 2, Code of Business Conduct for the members. If you miss some rules around this, you'll be punished as a member. And some sanctions are applied under this division 2. Part 5, we have listing rules that go from page 35 to page 78. We have general principles that govern listing and listing of securities, application and listing. If you want to apply for the membership, there's some requirements you have to fulfill, itemized under Division 1. Division 2, listing for the main investment market. We know main investment market is the main market where we have some requirements that are must be fulfilled by a listed company or a member before admitted to this segment. We have startup companies which are under EGM. We have rules for listing EGM companies. We have rules for listing debt securities, bonds, we refer as bonds. We have rules for listing resources companies like mining and so on. We have rules for foreign and cross-listed companies, Division 6. Division 7, rules for investment companies. And lastly, Division 8, listing rules for special securities. Also, we have Section 1 under Division 8, general provision, index disclosures and acceptance index calculators. We have exchange traded notes as well as exchange traded funds. Under Part 7 is the main section that covers what we undertake as an exchange. Part 6 comes to trading. Trading of equities, bonds, and procedures or rules governing digital platforms. Here we have the mobile trading platform and other digital channels that accept or process order to the exchange. Those are covered under Division 3 of Part 6. Part 7 covers foreign investors rules. Part 8, Investors Protection Fidelity Fund. We know this is the fund. How do you apply for the funds? How do you claim out of the Fidelity Fund? These are covered under Part 8. Part 9, Securities Market Indices. This is the metrics for measurement of the market performance and so on. All securities are covered under that section. Part 10, Fees and commissions, different commissions. Part 11, General Provision. The last 2 items we have Book 2. And before Book 2, we have Schedules and Attachments. These are supporting what we have provided from Part 1 to Part 10. Then Book 2, this covers CSD operations, settlement and custody of securities, and the admissions of members to the CSD side of it. But today we are going to, I have highlighted this to draw the attention to the areas we have revised our rules. So let's look on the rules that have been amended and approved. We have rule number 2. We have rule number 44, sub-rule 2A. We have rule number 173, sub-rule 3. We have rule number 179, sub-rule 2. We have rule 203, sub-rule 1. We have rule 212. And the last is 224. So we have revised these rules. Why did we revise the rules? Let's see the key drivers. We are driven by one key driver. The second one is the outcome of the first. The first driver for these changes was to enhance market liquidity. What market liquidity means? It means reduce bid-ask spread for tighter pricing, increase order books to support large transactions, encourage more frequent participation by buyers and sellers, and thirdly, pricing, more accurate pricing or price discoveries through increased activity in the market. So we are aiming, or our purpose is to ensure that the market is vibrant. So that's why we have touched all those rules. The second driver is price discovery mechanisms. On the order book transparency, we want everything to be open to everyone and to participate. Also, we are looking on the price stability as well as draw investors' confidence. When I'm posting the order, I see it on the board, on the order book, and then it matches or it looking for the match, is where I will be happy or confident with the market. And the prices of the market are determined by the forces of demand and supply. So by changing those rules, we are expecting that liquidity and price discovery will be achieved. Let's see the detail of these rules. We have said rule number 2 was changed. Yes. Let's see observation. On this area, we have enhanced the definition of block trade by rephrasing or by striking out the words which is sufficient large to exceed the capacity of the markets. Number 2, we uplifted the minimum value of the block trade from 200 million to 250 million, as well as replacing the word exceeding with minimum. So we have provided the existing provision, whereby the existing provision indicate that the block trade means a single lot of any security admitted on the list with a value exceeding 200 million, which is sufficient large to exceed the capacity of the market. So right now the rule will read as block trades means a single lot of any security admitted on the list with a minimum value of 200 million Tanzanian shillings. Rationale behind this is one, we remove subjectivity or ambiguity from the definition. So right now the definition is so straightforward and clear to everyone, whether it's a market participant or an investor would understand it easily. Also, we have broadened its scope for a wider applicability. Number three, we have provided precise description of the block trades. And the last, enable execution of trades value that exceed 250 million. So we are expecting that the outcome of this one will be having a clear definition of block trade, wider applicability of this, precise block trade criteria, and exactly amount of 200 million being the threshold that is accepted under the block trade. I think that is clear. Also, we have introduced a definition of a single lot. It was not existing. So right now, the definition will be a single lot means the number of securities comprising an order from one buyer to one seller. The essence is single lot should be, from 2nd June 2025, a single lot will mean one buyer, one seller. So rationale behind this is we have defined explicitly to remove ambiguity, which was existing because everyone was defining or interpreting a single lot based on their understanding. So right now the clarity is there. We know the definition of a single lot. Second, clarify the exact transaction unit for all participants. Third, prevent block trades where one buyer aggregates multiple sellers. And the last is ensure fair pricing and transparent execution of large trades. Implication, it means we have standardized the order entry. Secondly, investor transparency. Now it is open, it is known, it is clear to everyone on single lot. We have reduced price manipulation. Someone could ask himself or herself, how does missing definition of a single lot facilitate price manipulation? Here is from the players themselves. They know, they are aware of. We were taking this as a scenario whereby I can accumulate orders for many buyers and post them or decide to say the price will be like this and this and this. So that's possibility of a player or someone detect or saying this is the price of the security will be not existing, because right now it is clear to everyone. We need to have fair and consistent pricing. As we said, we will reduce price manipulation. Also improve surveillance and compliance. Here it is clear if compliance people and surveillance team will easily trace out whether the trade is a single lot or is not a single lot, because we have a clear explicit definition of this. The third item that has come into place is we have introduced the definition of price cap limit. It was not there. So right now the price cap limit means a fixed percentage on the previous closing price that set the limit on the price on which prices of a listed equity securities can fluctuate during a trading session. So we have set a clear boundary right now, whereby we know it will go up and down by which percentage. Also, we have distinguished the protection price, it from protection price. So right now you can distinguish protection price as well as price cap limit. Also, through this, clarify that protection price acts as a safety mechanism, not a trading limit. And fourth one is ensure market participants understand the separate roles of price cap vis-a-vis protection price. And the last is we want to enable more flexibility on the price adjustment in response to the new market information. Downward, we will see how this will apply, but the implication is enhance order management, improve risk management. It is strategic pricing, flexibility, clear compliance standards, as well as market stability. Those are the implications to all players, especially issuers, custodian banks, investors, as well as LDMs or brokers. Another introduction is the definition of a closing price. And this one, we have major changes around this area. This is the definition, but we will see the mechanics of it. And now, the definition of a closing price shall be defined as the volume-weighted average price, VWAP, of the trades executed during the trading session, provided that a minimum of 100 shares have traded. This is clear, we will see it down. Rationale behind here is we have a clear definition of a closing price right now. Also, we have separate closing price determination as well as the procedure to calculate the final price. Third, is we emphasize that the closing price is the result and not a method by having this one. Fourth is ensure that market participants distinguish or differentiate between the price and the determination process. Implications: accurate end of day valuations of the security. 2, reduce dispute or errors and errors or errors. Third is consistent index and benchmarking calculations. Fourth is transparent reporting. The last one is improved trading strategies. Number 5, we have also introduced a definition of corporate action, and this has impact to the securities listed. So listed companies, this is the area of your concern as well, because non-compliance, we are sure that there will be some penalties, sanctions, and so on, or measures that will be instituted by the DSE as well as CMSA, who is the primary regulator. So we are supposed to comply with this one. So we have defined the corporate actions. We know, and the rules has got the corporate action, but right now we have defined clearly what is the corporate action. And right now, a corporate action refers to any event initiated by a listed company that can potentially impact its shareholders or its securities. This action typically includes, we say include, but not limited to, includes mergers and acquisition, declaration of dividends, right issues, bonus, stock splits, and any other action that can materially affect the business prospect of a company. So that is the clear definition. So everyone right now should be aware of this introduction of new definition of corporate action. And the rationale behind this, we have put several action points here. One, a clarity on the corporate action to clarify which events fall under this term for shareholders as well as investors. Also, it covers issues like dividend, share splits, rights issues, measures, and other offers that may be within or outside the company. Also, it standardizes the process to uphold the market integrity and prevent misinterpretations, streamline operational workflow, improving efficiency in handling and communicating these actions. And the last, but not least, give more flexibility for the market to factor in and adjust trading prices based on the new information which is available. Implication, issuers are required to adhere to the defined criteria, reducing reporting delays and compliance risks. Okay. Second, investors receive a clear and timely notifications, ensure accurate entitlement claims and boosting confidence. Brokers and custodians as well as follow up uniform processing steps, cutting operational errors and settlement lags. DSE and CSD, we are required to maintain registers and circulate corporate actions, data consistency and improving record accuracy. Because even in our system, there's area we can upload them for the members, but we are referring mostly on the websites and so on. Lastly, regulators will easily track and enforce actions against the single standards or strengthen market transparency and integrity. Okay, let's look on the area of rule number 44, sub-rule 2A. Here we have enhanced for domestic investors on the area of use of national identification numbers for KYC. So the rule was written as for a citizen together with particulars required in sub-rule 2 shall submit voter's registration card or national identity card or passport or birth certificate or driving license. Our amendment has eliminated other IDs. So right now, for a citizen, together with particulars required in sub-rule 2, shall provide the NIN as issued by the NIDA for KYC purpose. I think this is clear, transparent to everyone. We have enhanced this because most of the digital platforms accept control a unique ID. A unique ID that is applicable to MNO, banks, and everywhere is the NIN that is issued by NIDA. That's why we have enhanced our rules to accommodate that as a mandatory requirement. Rule 184. Okay, under these rules, it is complementing what was provided in the rules of closing price, on the closing price. So rule number 80, rule 203, sub-rule number 1 is closing price. We have enhanced this one to have a clear ways of calculating or arriving at a closing price, whereby the closing price will be VWAP of the trade executed during the trading session, provided that a minimum of 100 shares shall be traded on that day. So this one was a critical challenge to the market, as most of the securities, their closing price was not changing frequently, and this was the root cause for illiquid of the market or of some of the counters. We are expecting changes around this, and the changes will be positive and negative as well. So listed companies, brokers, custodian banks should monitor this, and sometimes as a market will be hands-on from 2nd of June 2025, we'll be looking at this critically, because we are sure it is going to have a significant impact on the market operations. Maybe Sarah could take us from here. Okay, Sarah will take us from Rule 212.
Okay, Rule 212, this is protection price, should be amended by changing the marginal note to read the price cap limit, which we have seen the definition of it, and redrafting the rule to provide a clear, explicit meaning which reflect the definition of price cap limit, and deleting sub-rule 2. Now the existing provision should read the protection price, the existing one was reading protection price is the touchline price plus or minus 10% variation for the securities which have the market cap of below 1 trillion and 5% variation for the securities whose market cap is 1 trillion and above. And sub-rule 2 was reading the protection price limit, the possible price at which market orders can be executed. Now the amendment is read as the price cap limit is a fixed percentage of the previous closing price plus or minus. We have 3 situations there. The first one is 15% variation for securities whose market capitalization is below trillion 1. And these securities, DCB, Jubilee, Mkombozi, Maendeleo, Nico, NMG, Precision, Swissport, Simba, Toll, Twiga, Tatepa, Swala, Uchumi, Mwalimu, Yetu, Mukoba, DSE, Afriprice, Jatu, and Kenya Airways. And the second one is 5% variation for securities whose market capitalization is TZS 1 trillion and above, and number of issued shares above 2 billion. Then here we have add the number of issues for securities. For example, CRDB, Voda, and KCB, they have number of shares more than 2 billion. And the third variation is 2% variation for securities whose market capitalization is TZS 1 trillion and above, and number of issued shares are below 2 billion. And these securities are TCC, TBL, NMB, and EABL. And these securities have the high market cap, and we put the variation of 2% to prevent the drop of market cap, high drop of market cap, or sudden drop of market capitalization. Rationale for this rule is the rule now applies to all order types, low market cap, which the daily price movement will be 15%. We have increased from 10%. And the high cap stock daily movement will be 5 and 10, depending on number of shares issued according to those securities. The implication will be for the brokers, they need to update clients about the new daily price cap. Investors, they need to know exactly how far price can move each day. making risk easier to manage. Issuers, they can enjoy reduced likelihood of extreme share price moves, supporting steadier market valuation. For DSE and CSD, monitor and enforce the caps to keep market orderly, and for the regulator to oversee volatility more easily and prevent sudden crashes. Okay, we have another rule 224. This be amended by rephrasing the marginal note, new issues price discovery, to read new issues and corporate action price discovery. And that's why we have a definition of corporate action. So we have the existing rule there, but we have amended to read like this. The opening price for a new equity admitted on the list is the initial public offer price. For the first trade session following admission, the exchange shall remove all price protection, but reserves the right to take such action as may be required in order to maintain an orderly market. And following a public announcement of corporate action of a listed securities, the exchange shall amend the price cap limit on the trading price of the security and add an allowable of 5% variation of the previous closing price in all cases as the price cap limit for 5 working days, but reserves the right to take such actions as may be required to maintain an orderly market. Here you have we have 3 cap limits. We have 15, we have 5, and we have 2. But when we have announcement of corporate actions, we will add 5% on top of the previous one. If we have 15 and we have corporate action, we'll add 5. Then we have 20% variation. And if you have 5, you will add 5 to get 10. And if you have 2, you will add 5 to get 7. So here you add the 5% more from what we have when we don't have the corporate actions. So the rationale, the 5 working days in sub-rule 3 give the market enough time to complete corporate actions and adjust price based on the latest information. Implication for this rule: brokers will need to update order systems and advise clients that new listing trade first at the IPO price, then open without protections before normal bands resume. So brokers, you need to update your clients, your investors, so that they can know. And now we have a mobile trading platform, so the client, they can put order themselves. So they need to have all the information before they put their order in the system. For the investors, can expect no price caps on day 1, so orders may execute at true market demand. After corporate actions, they will see a 5% additional 5% variation band for 5 days, giving clear risk boundaries. Issuers gain predictable price behavior around corporate events, helping them plan announcements without causing wild swings. For DSE and CSD, must monitor trades closely on day 1 and during the 5-day window, ready to intervene if necessary to keep markets orderly. And for the regulator, benefit from transparent, time-limited bands that balance price discovery with investor protection around news and corporate actions. Then we have Rule 281. This is the determination of the closing price of a securities, be amended and rephrased by deleting the phrase at least 0.002% to 5% of issued shares on the first sentence, and replace it with the phrase a minimum of 100 shares. And also deleting the phrase at traded price does not make up of 0.0025% of issued shares, and replace the phrase traded at each transaction is less than 100 shares. So the existing was written like this: the closing price of security shall be the price at which at least 0.0025% of issued shares of the securities have traded per trading sessions of the day. There shall be no changes in the closing price of the security if the number of shares at the traded price does not make up 0.0025% of issued shares. So the amendment in this Rule 281, now it will read, the closing price of a security shall be the price at which a minimum of 100 shares of the security have traded per trading session of the day. There shall be no changes of the closing price of the security if the quantity of shares traded at each transaction is less than 100 shares. And to elaborate more in this, the trades, which trades, here is not, there is no accumulation of shares. Let's say you have a trade of 50, then trade of 20, and then trade of 30, you sum up to get 100. But those 50, 20, and 30, they will not be included in the calculation of closing price. What we mean here is every trade with 100 and above will be included in the calculation of closing price. Okay, the rationale is the Rule 281 has been amended because the current percentage requirement of 0.002% of the total issued shares cannot address comprehensively the anomaly of price stagnation. It was necessary to clearly specify which transactions should be included in the calculation of closing price. The implication is brokers only trades of greater or equal to 100 shares can move the closing price. Odd lots still execute but won't affect it. Investors sub 100 shares trades won't shift the end of the day price. Use lots of 100 plus shares for impact. For issuers, closing price will be more stable and reflective of real demand, cutting volatility. For DSE and CSDR, system will ignore trades less than 100 shares in closing price calculations, simplifying the process. And for the regulators, benefit from clearer, volume-based price data, enhancing market oversight. So the closing price will be well calculated based on 100 shares traded and above, and this will be effect from 2nd of June 2025. Then we have tick sizes. The tick size table amended by reducing the tick size and defining the price range. We have the tick size of 5 levels, whereby now we have changed to 2 levels. The 2 level will be less than 1,000, the price, the tick size will be 5, and 1,000 and above, the tick size will be 10. The rationale of reducing these tick size levels is to increase the frequency of price movement on securities whose market cap is TZS 1 trillion and above. The implication of changing the tick size for the brokers can quote and execute orders in finer increments, enabling tighter bid-ask spreads and more competitive pricing. For the investor, they will enjoy more prices entry and exit prices, lowering trading costs, especially in large cap stocks. For issuers, see deeper liquidity and improved price discoveries as shares trade in smaller increments. For DSE and CSDR, must upgrade system to handle the new tick grid, ensuring seamless trading. And for the regulator, benefit from smoother price data and easier monitoring of market abuse. We have changed also the trading phases or trading session. We have increased 1 hour We were starting at 10, now we'll be starting at 9, but the phases are the same. We have phase 1 at pre-open, open, continuous trading, and close. So the market will start at 9 a.m. and will close at 4. So we have shifted the 1 hour from 10 to 9. They changed opening time to give more time for pre-open and auctioning trading phases, hence supporting further enhancement of the price discovery process. And to give the investors to put their order also earlier than before. Then for brokers, these are implications. Leverage 9 to 9:30, pre-open to queue client orders, and pre for the 9:30 auction. For investors, gain extra time to submit orders on fresh information and see a transparent opening price. For issuers, enjoy opening price set by true market demand via the auction mechanism. And for a DSE and CSDR, collect pre-open orders, run the auction at 9:30, then transition seamlessly into continuous trading. And for regulators, monitor pre-open order flow for improved oversight and market integrity. Thank you, and this is the end of our presentation. We welcome the questions. You can ask questions in Swahili or in English, then we'll be ready to answer. Karibuni.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, and the members. But before going to the questions, when are we starting applying the new rules? Sarah.
The new rules will be starting to be applied on 2nd of June 2025. So be informed that on the 2nd of June, we'll be starting using the new rules.
Okay, thank you. We have one portion we have left it behind is issues next after application. What next? Issues in related to compliance and so on. We'll come back to that section. But welcome for questions. You can put your question on the chat box or you can ask. Please, Kameta, if you can unmute members so that they participate in asking questions. Raise up your hand and then you shoot your question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Welcome.
Yes, I have a question. I wanna know, how did they come up with the rules? Did they involve the public or they just make up the rules by themselves?
If I got to correct you, how did we come up with these rules? Is it?
My question is, how did you come up with the rules? Did you involve the public or you guys just in a closed door on your own, you just make up the rules?
Okay, thank you. We are taking up that. Another question? Our legal team will respond. Bear with us. We are taking another question, then they will come to shoot all the questions. Okay. Karibuni kwa maswali jamani. Okay, Msonga, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, welcome, Msonga.
Thank you for the nice presentation, and I like the fact that you explicitly show the benefits that will accrue to each of your stakeholders. I have the first question is, how have you positioned yourself, especially your surveillance system, to make sure that the licensed dealing members are not gaming the system, especially when you have changed the determination of closing prices. The reason I'm asking this, I'm thinking if a dealer can do a simple pump and dump, can just transact 100 shares every day for 5 days, and then the price will go up, then he can use the opportunity to dump, because that will create a buzz to the investors, as if the prices are going up, something good is coming, they will come in and buy, he will dump that. So how will you ensure that your surveillance system is intact to make sure that the dealing members are not gaming the system? The second issue, the second question, I struggle to understand the price limit that you put in relation to the tick size, the changes in tick size. For instance, the shares like the likes of TBL, which unit price is very high, and they're saying now the tick price is 10. I don't know how that will enhance liquidity of that kind of shares. Can you elaborate more on this? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Another question? If no question, let's start responding to that. Mary, if you are in, or should I take the first one? How did we come up with the rules? Did we involve the stakeholders and the public or not? Madam Mary, our Chief Legal Counsel, if you are available. Okay, otherwise, let me take it. Okay. This process was, yes, Mary? Hello, Mary. Okay. Thank you for a good question. The history behind the revised rules, we normally involve stakeholders and the public as well. The process that was involving 2024 revision was done since 2023. We started that period by involving listed companies, brokers, custodian banks, as well as the general public. Not only that, also we had meetings with the regulators, MSA, on why do we want to come up with this revision, including some calculations. We did some calculations on the impact, like the closing price, tick size, and we did a thorough research on that area. That's why they come up with the approval of all changes that we submitted to them, because they were supported with the stakeholders' comment as well as facts and research around that. That is number one. On the area of our surveillance team, yes, we have said surveillance team is clear and was informed, as well as updating our system. We have a system that we call Clarity Surveillance System. And this system was updated with the new changes so that everyone who is trying to manipulate the market or trying to do anything in the market, especially during trading sessions and after trading hours, is caught, and a flag is being sent to all levels of the DSE management as well as the CEO. We hope from 2nd of June we'll be strict on that, and members should be aware. Any action that is being committed by our members who are brokers through the admitted members, because the trader is a licensed one, any trader who will be caught to be involved in manipulating the price based on the tick size as well as the closing price limit that has been included. There will be personal liable as well as the firm will be charged for price manipulation. Please take note of that, and whoever is concerned, be serious on this matter, because we are not playing or we are not taking it for simple. It took us 2 years to be accepted and come up with this revision. So I'm sure DSE CEO as well as the management will not be happy to see some kind of manipulation based on what we have provided here. Lara, please, you can take up on the tick size.
Lakini sasa kama kule wanaiba si tatizo.
Naomi, can you mute your speaker, please? Okay, thank you.
Okay, for the tick size, can you repeat the question on tick size? Because you said that tick size for now is 2%, yes, for T-bill. This is the revised one, and the price is high. I didn't get the last part you asked. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, thank you. So what I meant is previously the tick size was relatively higher for high value shares, but now it's too low, like 10. So if I am, let's say, selling TBL share, I have to press bid C, offer in, let's say, 17,010. Don't you think that will inhibit the liquidity of that particular share? Is that clear with you?
Okay, the tick size for TBL was 100. The current one is 100, but after revised is 10. You can move your price by 10, 10, 10 and not 100. This reduces the implicit cost, because if you have 10,000 to buy 1 TBL shares, if you want to reduce the price, you have to go to 9,900, or if you want to increase the price, it's 10,100. But when you use 10 tick size of 10, you can shift from 10,000 to 9,990. So you have the flexibility of reducing the explicit cost which was applied in to move from one tick size to another for the counters like TCC and TBL, where the prices are too high. So having the 10 tick size of 10, it's much more cheaper than having the tick size of 100.
So Sarah, you want to tell me right now, so investors, they are going to enjoy to have a tick size of 10 compared to the previous of 100, is it?
Yes.
Okay. How about on the area of issuers? Are they going to be happy?
For the issuers, they'll be happy because the investors, they have the flexibility of moving the price, whether upward or downward, because the explicit cost will be reduced from, let's say, 100 shares, the 100 tick size. When you take 100 times 10,000, let's say 10,000 price, and let's take 10 times 10,000. The price, what we are looking here is the implicit cost of the investor to move from one band of price to another level of price.
Okay, and the liquidity will improve in that count.
Yes, yes.
A follow-up question, if you have.
My follow-up question was with respect to public participation. I'm a member of diaspora, and I do not recall anywhere where I have seen any information with respect to these rules. And maybe the second part on top of it is how do we participate in buying shares from outside the country? For example, I'm here in New York and I would like to buy shares. Can I go into this DSE website and buy shares? And how does the rule of the game operate for somebody who is operating from outside the country? Is he gonna have to be abide by the same rules? All the rules are different. How about taxes? And is there any tax implication if you're gonna be buying from another country? I would like to know all those stuff. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for your good questions. I'll answer them right now. Yes, we allow foreigners to invest in our market. And most of the cases on the weekends, we normally provide webinar sessions to foreigners, diasporas, and whoever is interested to invest in our market. But for the case of foreign companies, as individuals, we have seen they are coming through the market through custodian banks, or they can reach out to our brokerage firms from the DSE website. We have a list of brokers or licensed dealing members. They will assist you on how to reach out in our market. But we also have the mobile trading platform. But the condition on the mobile trading platform, you must have the national identification number, which is the primary control, so that to open an account and start investing. Our plan is to roll out to accommodate even the passports, but that is the plan we are heading at. But right now, you can reach out to the custodian banks, or you can do it yourself if you have the national identification number, or you can visit or contact our broker who are listed on the DSE website. They will assist you on how to reach our market. In case of the revision of the rules, we did the same. We reach out to the custodian banks because they are representing foreigners. We reach out to the brokers because they are representing domestic as well as foreign investors, as well as listed companies. So those are how the market operates. And if you have more, we'll be happy to receive and work on them so that if in the future, there's retail investors, they want from foreign, they want us to engage them on these developments, we will do that. And we are happy to do that because it's the way we are creating opportunity to everyone, and there's no restriction in our market as far as investment is concerned. Thank you. If there is someone, please, if you have another question, members, participant, welcome. But there is a question on the chat box.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Okay, thank you. I have this question.
Yes,
So
Mambo.
in any change,
Yes.
there is a changing mechanism. So what's your ideal change mechanism?
Please, can you clarify more? What do you mean by change mechanism?
Okay, thank you. So this is all about change, isn't it? We change it from
Yes.
this rule to another rule, is it?
Yes, exactly.
So I would like you to know the change mechanism that will come up with all of this.
Okay. We have taken that. We are going to answer it shortly. If there is another question.
Hey, hello.
Yes, Konja, welcome.
Asante. Asante kwa presentation, lakini mimi sijaelewa kwenye ile part ya closing price jinsi inavyoweza kubadilika. Mwanzoni kama sikumbuki vizuri, closing price ilikuwa ni 0.0025%, kesho yake inaweza kabadilika. Lakini sasa hivi mnasema kwamba kuanzia shared 100 ndo zinaweza zikabadilika. Na madam pale alisemea kama ukinunua shares 50, 30, hiyo haitakuwa closing price. Sasa closing price ya share 100 itakuwa ni kwa watu wote, yani kila mmoja anunue kuanzia 100 na kuendelea, na au itakuwa kwa mtu mmoja mmoja? Asante kaka.
Okay, asante. Tutalijibu.
Yes, I have a question. Can I ask?
Yes, use any language you will answer.
Okay, thank you. Why is it that an investor has to go through a broker and not access the market directly? Because right now we have the technology is very advanced. Why don't you allow people to trade directly in the market and not go through a broker?
Thank you.
That is my question.
Another question? Okay, this question from Rehema asking, my question does not relate to the new amendments made, but would like to know the rules covering transfer of shares by court order under the DSE rules. What circumstances? What circumstances? Okay, fine. We are going to answer that, Rehema. Please bear with us. Okay, Mwende, why is it that investors have to go through a broker and not have to access? Okay, fine, it's okay. We are going to address. Let's start with the last, then come forward to the first one. Why investors are advised to go through a broker? Number one is the requirement of how markets operate. That is a traditional means of doing things of the market across. Why? Because there's a risk of investment. The market wants to avoid or minimize the risk associated with the investment, whereby we advise investors to visit or to meet investment advisors or brokers. Brokers, they are acting as investment advisors. They have to advise you, why should you invest in a certain counter? Maybe why are you investing in TCC and not in TBL? That raw market or exchange is not providing that, but exchange provide all avenues. Brokers or investment advisors, they will tell you, invest in TCC, not TBL, or invest in TBL, not in TCC now. Secondly, is the KYC, know your customer. By virtue of the law, brokers are entrusted with the responsibility of undertaking KYC for all investors. So that is the issue. We have the mobile trading platform or DSE digital channels. You can go through yourself, but you have to select a broker, and the broker is required to reach out to you after maybe you have bought your securities and so on, but they need to keep in touch with you, give you some reports on the performance of the market and the performance of the securities that you have purchased in the market. Other members will, Happiness, our head of risk and compliance, will come up and chip on that, why investors go through brokers. But another is, how do we calculate the closing price? Yes, we have said closing price. Our chief trading officer, we're going to talk about this one. Na hili swali limeulizwa kwa Kiswahili. Naomba madam, please use Kiswahili ili kila mtu aelewe. Wale ambao hawaelewi Kiswahili, please we'll clarify that.
Okay, asante. Ameuliza kwamba closing price ya sasa hivi ni 0.0025%. sio 0.0025%. Hiyo ni nyongeza ya closing price. Tunaposema closing price na pale tulisema ni volume weighted average price. Maana yake ni nini? Kwenye session tunapoanza soko mpaka tunapomaliza trade zinatokea. Trade zinaweza kutokea trade 1000, 2000. Tunachukua zile trade za kampuni husika, labda TBL kuna trade 1000. Tutachukua zile trade 1000, tutazichukua turnover yake. Turnover ni volume times price. Tukishapata zile consideration tunazijumlisha. Ukishazijumlisha unaziweka pembeni. Unagawanya sasa na volume ulionayo. Price unayopata pale inaitwa volume weighted average price. Sasa ile volume weighted average price ndio inakuwa closing price, lakini kunakuwa na condition nyingine pembeni. Condition iliyopo sasa hivi, kama ile volume iliyo trade haijafikia 0.0025% ya shares zote zilizoorodheshwa sokoni kwenye specific kampuni, basi closing price haitabadilika. Sasa hivi tunachoenda kubadilisha, tunachukua trade zote, tunatafuta hiyo volume weighted average price. Lakini trade ambazo zitahusika katika kutafuta volume weighted average price ni trade zinazoanzia share 100. Kama mimi nimenunua share 100, mwingine amenunua share 300, mwingine amenunua share 800, mwingine amenunua share 950, mwingine amenunua share 201, zile ndo zitatumika kutafuta volume weighted average price. Lakini kama kwenye soko kuna zile trade ambazo ziko chini ya 100, mwingine amenunua share 10, mwingine amenunua share 20, mwingine 70, mwingine 80, hizo hazitahusika au hazitajumuishwa kwenye kutafuta volume weighted average price. Ndio maana yake hiyo. Sio kwamba mimi nikinunua share 100 leo, alafu mwingine amenunua share 300, mimi wa 100 ndio tunaenda kusema kwamba ndio closing price. Hapana, tunatafuta average ya siku tunaipata, lakini hiyo average inajumlisha tu trade ambazo zinaanzia share 100 na kuendelea.
Labda Sara niulize mimi hapa kama nimemuelewa. Assume kwa siku hiyo counter hiyo imetrade share 100, tumecloud ameenda kununua share za TBL 100. Je, closing price itabadilika based on the share zangu 100 nilizozinunua kwa hiyo siku?
Kama hakuna trade hiyo moja, yes, itabadilika.
Okay, fine. Sasa na ndio hapa yule mtu aliyeuliza, Madam Happiness please chip in. Kuna mtu aliuliza issue ya surveillance. Akauliza tumejiandaaje kwa ajili ya surveillance endapo broker leo ananunua share 100 ili price ishuke, wakawa wanacheza huo mchezo. Mimi nimesema kwamba mechanism yetu kuna ile clarity, surveillance and so on. So do you think kwa yale majibu ndio kwa nayo, kwa scenario ya kwamba mtu ananunua share 100 ishuke kesho 100, yani wanaishusha bei counter fulani, labda TCC sasa hivi 17, kesho tarehe 2 ananunua share 100 zinashuka, ile tarehe nyingine ananunua 100. Je, tunaweza sisi kama market tunaweza tukasaidia vipi counter kama hizo?
Asante CIA, Chief Internal Auditor wa DSE. Nafikiri umejibu vyema, na ndo practice iliyopo DSE. Tuna mfumo ambao unaweza kumonitor hizi trades zinavyoendelea real time kwenye market and even on daily basis, na tunaweza kutrack hizi practices among brokers ambao sio waaminifu. Tunaweza tukajua hizi dealings mapema na kuweza kuchukua action. Kwa hiyo hii system yetu imekuwa set kabisa, imekuwa preset kwenye different scenarios kiasi kwamba hamna mtu ambaye anaweza kaikwepa. Kwa hiyo all scenarios ambao zinaweza karibu kwenye market manipulation zimekuwa set kwenye system. So if any transaction happens, inaangalia trends, inaangalia transaction, inaangalia the participant. So whoever trades practice yake inakuwa recorded, na ikitokea situation ambayo haiko sawa na na market au hizo situations za market manipulation, insider dealings, system inaweza kutoa alerts, real time alerts kwa watu wote ambao wako involved, na sisi kama market huwa tunachukua kwa kweli strict measures kulingana na rules zetu kwa brokers ambao wanafanya hizi practices. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Happy. Our head of risk and compliance. Okay, the other question was from our friend, the change mechanism. Okay, we have said before, the change mechanism of our rules or what we have done is started from the members of the exchange, like LDMs, brokers, and so on, as well as it might start from the DSE. For example, rules relation to determination of the closing price. This started from the request come from investors. It goes through brokers. Brokers come to the exchange. We had several engagement and meetings with the members around these rules changes. So after having comments from the members and so on, we drafted the proposal of the rules, supported with the research that was conducted by an appointed team. We have a research that back up our revision. And this report was submitted before the regulator, as well as other players of the market. They are aware of this report, especially brokers. They are 100% aware, and most of them, they have the study report, which was commissioned by the regulator, I'm sure. And the DSE was not the one who commissioned undertaking of that such study, because we might have a conflict of interest. And this study was commissioned by the regulator with an independent assessors who come up with the proposals and supported what exchange submitted before them. So that is what happened. From that, having the changes communicated to the DSE passed to the board of directors, and then board of directors passed to the regulator. And then regulator communicates that to the exchange. After that, we received the communication on the same date. We posted on our website to inform the public of what we received from the regulator. Then, before start implementation of the rules, we think it is wise to share with the members and have a conversation with the members. What you propose is what we publish in the website after the approval of the regulator, as well as this is the way we are going to implement it. That's why we are here today. So we hope by 2nd of June, 2025 is the effective date of these rules. So that is the change mechanism we can say, and we have adopted that as the way to update our rules to this June. Others, if they have a question, please, you are warm welcome.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Karibu.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I have some few questions. Some of them might relate to today's topic, and some of them might relate to the general, maybe trading laws. From today's presentation, I have some 3 questions. Number one, I should start by maybe congratulating DSE and CMSA coming by these changes to enhance liquidity and maybe effectiveness and efficiency of the marketing. Though I believe there might be some things as well ongoing. Maybe you guys are still waiting for some of maybe approvals or some of the let's say research and so on. So this is a big up for you guys. My first question coming from the broker trading, because you said the broking trading rules is changing now. I understand the rationale about the change, but what I didn't understand is the raise of the amount from 200 million to 250. Maybe can you just maybe elaborate more why the amount? Maybe the nitty-gritty about the trading, broker trading, I get it, but what I don't get is just the raise of the amount from 200 million to 250. That'll be my first question. My second question is coming from the valuation of the prices, probably on large market cap companies. In this case, my major questions come from, I remember from your presentation, you say like, if you have the company with more than 1 trillion market cap and have higher than 2 billion, the variation will be 5%. And if the same amount of 1 billion market cap and then less than 2 billion shares, the valuation will be 2%. Maybe I just want to understand the rationale about separating these two, having 5% and 2% while they're still having the same market cap. And on top of that, I just wanted to know if you guys have considered the free float shares of these large cap companies. Maybe there might be large cap companies, but the free floats for the general public might not be as much as the number of shares they have at that particular point in time. So that would be my second question. My third question is coming to DSE itself. You guys are changing this rule. I just want to understand how are you prepared in terms of system-wise? Because I know you guys are trying very hard to make sure the trading is executed at any time, at any point in time, and then you come with the 24 hours, 24/7 hours, though there might be some hiccup here and there. I don't know how you guys are prepared to adopt these changes in your systems, given that we are almost 1 week away from that day, which is 2nd June. Maybe that will be my third question. Maybe allow me now to go to other questions which are not related to today's topic. So the first question I will just pose to you guys is just like trying to understand, because now most of these changes were here just to bring transparency and flexibility and liquidity. I believe we can do that, but we really require to have a timely information, probably from listed entities and so on. But I think most investors have been complaining about delays in receiving reports, maybe from listed companies. I believe one of the rules you have as you are introducing is just like how you guide those listed entities. I believe there's some section which says like they need to submit their time report, maybe the quarter reports within 30 days until after the end of the quarter. But this has not been the case. I don't know, maybe from the compliance point of view, what are you guys doing on this to ensure that we have a proper information as well as we increase the liquidity? And my biggest example will be for DSE yourself, because I expected you guys to be an example into this, but surprisingly, even DSE itself does not publish those information within the specified timeline. Maybe if you can comment on that as well to give a good example for others and give maybe investors information they need timely so that they can execute information and decision. That would be my fourth question. My fifth question, we go on.
Sorry.
Yes.
The last one, you said example DSE. Have you
Yes.
not an instant where DSE delayed to publish information so that we address it holistically?
Yeah, I'm referring to you from your DSE website as well, given like maybe the Q4 reports, the timelines, because it was expected to come earlier, but the time you guys submitted that might not be in line with that time. That's what I'm saying. I'm not referring to anyone. Maybe you can just share if you guys have
Fine.
this. Yeah. Okay. Maybe my fifth question now, we go on the trading mechanism itself. This is more of a suggestion because the aim is to increase liquidity and effectiveness and efficiency. But my only concern has been in regard to maybe establishing a wallet because the way we operate now is just like if I want to buy, let's say, stock, maybe a stock for company X or Y, I have to generate the control number, and that control number will be linked specifically to that counter. But I might have done that, But after some time, maybe the price has gone up or I have changed my mind. And at this point, I cannot do anything from my end to make sure maybe I change the sell to maybe another counter, or maybe I can just decide not to proceed with the change because it's been like a challenging and adding admin task to maybe brokers and even you yourself, DSE. I just want to understand if you guys are considering have a wallet, probably if you guys can just create the same thing like you're using control number, I just create a control number of, let's say, 100,000, and that will just come to my DSE account because I know I have my account with the broker. And if I have that account, I can decide to use my 100, maybe to go to counter X or Y or Z, instead of just linking this one control number to one maybe counter, which create a lot of maybe problem. I may not be the only one, probably. Maybe there are some members as well facing these challenges. Maybe you could just try to see if you can come with a wallet so that you can just create the wallet, send the amount to my wallet or my account. Probably I know I have my account because you guys tell me to reconcile my account with my blocker. And then I can just try to reallocate on my own rather than just being guided by the practice that we have at this particular point in time. So that was my fifth question. My next question is relating to trading of shares, maybe reflecting shares after purchase or sell, because I understand the current practice is T+3. I don't know if this T+3 is just like a fixed rule of, oh, you guys are just considering like maybe to do some amendment to make sure a number of days maybe it take to maybe resettle the transactions considered, or maybe there might be a rationale for you guys keeping this to T+3, because buying share on Thursday and then receiving all those shares on my holding maybe on next Tuesday might not be appealing to most investors, and is this creating a lot of ambiguities to others? Because I believe there might be a room for you guys to try to see to reduce the settlement time. That will benefit most of us. Maybe not taking much time. I just want to go to the last one. This last one is just like to try to understand in terms of fees. I know the fees, there's a structure for fees that guides how much maybe a buyer and sellers pays when they execute their trades. I don't know if DSE are looking to review these fees to make sure maybe they can reduce to increase participation, because it might not be as much, but I believe most investors might be facing these challenges of fees, because the fees is collected from a buyer and seller of the same transaction. So it means we are paying, two different people are paying for one transaction. I don't know if DSE are just looking to this region or avenue to make sure maybe they check these fees and then to just flex a bit for new investors or investors to make sure transaction costs is not as huge as maybe most people would expect. So thank you very much. Those are my questions for now.
Okay, thank you, Samson.
Yeah.
And good question. Okay, let's start responding some of these questions, and then we'll take another round of questions. To start with the last one on the fees, yes, the DSE is working on the fees holistically, and we will come to the stakeholders on the areas of fees and the chargeabilities as well as the rates which is applicable right now. But if you want to get the details of the fees, is included in the website. We have DSE rules. On the DSE rules, we have the fee structure. Also is a regulated item. So we cannot change from the DSE perspective only, but we engage the brokers, other players in the market, as well as the regulator. And then we have to justify to the regulator why we want to reduce or why we want to update the fees and so on. But it's something we are working on it. And we have seen some of the high cost, especially when we are using digital technology or technology. we have seen there's something to be done around that one, but we are working on it. And when we finalize, we will see and communicate back to the stakeholders. And the stakeholders to be informed. If they have any comment around that one, they can reach out to DSE, and then DSE will incorporate in the study which is undertaken. On the area of T+3, yes, we agree. T+3 it was applicable sometimes 5 years or 10 years back because of the time zone difference technology that was used, as well as other factors. But right now we are working with the stakeholders, the foreign investors. They can testify this one through their custodian banks. We have engaged them to suggest if there's any objection, if we want to change the settlement cycle from T+3 to T+2. Why we are maintaining that on the equity side? Because of the time zone difference. We might be here, it is morning, but in America, time is not the same as here, or in another continent, we have time zone difference. That's why we want to align to some extent. But on the area of posting orders we have addressed these issues through the digital technology. You can post your order even on Sunday, Saturday, public holiday, and so on. But on the settlement cycle, we are working on it. Before end of the year, be assured that T+3 will be a history from our market. On the area of trading mechanism, especially on the wallets, I remember we had a session, we received a comment from participant. I'm not sure if you are the one or someone else. Also, they were proposing to have more wallets on the area of trading, rather than tying up the money with the control number. Expiration of the control number limit investor from using that money to purchase another security. So our technology team is working on this, and probably before end of the year, this matter will be addressed. On the area of information publication, this one, as a matter of fact, this comes to my end and my friend, head of risk and compliance. We are monitoring this, and that's why we want to know if DSE has delayed in publishing some of this information. We've held them accountable as well. But we understand that we have the rules that stipulate time frame 30 days after end of the reporting period, whether it's quarter or annual is 6 months. So after 30 June 2025, a listed company that will fail, or a member who will fail to file financial statement with the exchange, they will be liable for penalty. The same as after 30 days, end of the quarter, if you fail to submit your financial or price sensitive information, especially management accounts, you'll be liable for penalty. We have a scenario whereby these members, they normally come to the exchange requesting for a waiver because they are undergoing meetings with the board and so on to get approval. We have been extending this request, but we have discussed as a management and the one who is responsible with this area, we have agreed any member who has requested time extension, we will publish that information to the public so that shareholders and the board of directors be aware. Their companies or the management, maybe they are requesting time extension every time so that public could react properly based on their counter. So that is, we hope, we will communicate with this with our members. Any time extension request will be communicated to the public so that public get informed. Okay, we are following the publication of price sensitive information. and we have enhanced on the area of cooperative action, define it clearly, and I'm sure we will be monitoring this and report to the public, those who go against this. So on the area of timely publication of information, please, if you have exactly citation, we'll be much happy to address it and respond it properly. But generally, we are working on it and we don't entertain this except for those who are requesting time extension. On the area of how do we accommodate these changes in our systems? Yes, our team is working. Al Othman, the CTO, if he is online, could confirm this, but he's not online because we reached the maximum limit of members or participants. But we are assured system vendors and our ICT team are working with the system vendor to incorporate all changes in our systems. By 2nd of June, we are happy that all changes will be accommodated in our systems, both ATS, CSD, as well as Clarity Surveillance. Sarah, if you could address on the area of block trade, why block trade now is 250 rather than 200?
Okay, the block trade shifted from 200 to 250. These were the stakeholders' comments, because we wanted to have the 200 million block trade as it is, and having the definition of single lot that we have one buyer, one seller, but the brokers themselves, stakeholders, want to shift from 200 to 250, make the rationale that the one who wants to go for the block trade is the one who want to either exit or enter into the market, maybe forced by legal regulations or what. But those who are supposed to trade in the normal board, they have to go to the normal board. So these are stakeholders' response and comments. They want to shift from 200 to 250.
And to add on that, I'm sure 250 is something attainable for a block trade, because other markets is more than that. Only DSE, the threshold is 250 million. Other markets are more than 1 billion. Yes. Okay, another is free float shares. Okay. Tick size. Variation.
Okay. On the tick size variation, we have 5% and 2% for the securities whose market cap is more than 1 trillion, but different in issued shares. And why is that? Because those with high market cap but low share, but big market cap, we put the 2% because we want to monitor the changes of drop of market cap, suddenly change of market cap. Because after changing the closing price mechanism, we see that the closing price can change daily. You can have a closing price today, tomorrow can have another one. So we are sure that the market capitalization will drop for a certain time, maybe, then we'll start to appreciate. So to avoid the panic in the market, we put those measures to have 2% variation for the market cap high with low with number of shares below 2 million, and we can see the securities which are affected is TBL, TCC, NMB, and NMB, which has the higher market cap compared to those with 5% variation.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Amos Gailo, please. I have seen your question. I think, please share with us your detail on the complaint@dsc.co.tz. Amos, naomba ututumie details zako kwenye email ya complaints@dsc.co.tz. Then tutaiaddress kwa sababu this is unusual. No, we will punish the broker as well as set out your request. Nadhani watu wote wanaiona. Then Rehema, unasema swali langu mlilisahau. No, hatujalisahau. Ni mazingira gani, unauliza ni mazingira gani yanapelekea hisa kuuzwa kwa amri ya mahakama? Kanuni namba ngapi? Asante. Sasa na wakili msomi hapa na mimi naomba naye hakujibu. Jacqueline, karibu.
Asante Rehema. Asante McLeod. Tunashukuru kwa swali lako Rehema kuhusiana na mazingira gani yanapelekea hisa kuuzwa kwa amri ya mahakama. Kwa mujibu wa kanuni za DSE and CSD za mwaka 2022 zinasema kwamba shares zinaweza, yani hiyo inaongelea kwanza sio kuuza, ni private transfers ambazo shares zinahama kutoka kwa mtu mmoja kwenda kwa mwingine, ambapo huyo mwingine atakayehamishiwa ndo anaweza akauza. Lakini endapo kuna court order, mara nyingi hiyo situation zinatokea pale ambapo kuwa na administration of deceased estate, masuala ya mirathi. Kama endapo mmiliki amefariki na kesi imepelekwa mahakamani, yani kwa kifupi kesi yoyote ambayo inafika mahakamani lazima mwisho wa siku kutakuwa kuna court order. Kwa hiyo ile court order ikishatoka yenyewe ndo itaelezea kwamba hizi hisa zitatoka kwa marehemu, zitaenda kwa mrithi ambaye ni fulani na fulani. Kwa hiyo mwisho wa siku ile order ndo itakapoletwa kwetu na hizo hisa zitahamishwa kwa mmiliki. Mmiliki akiamua kuuza atauza, akiamua kuziendeleza ataziendeleza. Lakini kuna wakati ambapo mahakama inataka moja kwa moja hizo shares ziuzwe. Kwa hiyo mahakama ikitoa order inataka hizo shares ziuzwe, then mabrokers wetu watauza zile shares alafu watazideposit hizo hela kwenye account ya mahakama. Mahakama yenyewe ndio itazigawanyisha zile hela. Lakini pia kwenye situation nyingine ukiachia hiyo usimamizi wa mirathi, kunakuwa kwenye labda kama kuna mambo ya liquidation ya kampuni, kukiwa kuna hiyo compulsory liquidation ambayo mara nyingi inafika mahakamani, kunakuwa kuna court order ambayo inaelezea mgawanyo wa assets zile za kampuni. Kama hiyo kampuni ilikuwa inamiliki shares, then itaeleza zile shares zinatoka kwenye hiyo kampuni zinaenda kama ni kwa wa beneficiaries fulani. Hiyo order ikija kwetu ndio sisi tutazitransfer hizo shares as per the court order iliyoletwa. Kwa hiyo hayo ni mazingira ambayo yanasababisha, yanapelekea sisi DSE kuweza kuhamisha au kuuza hisa kwa amri ya mahakama. Asante.
Asante Jack. Rehema, please, kama utakuwa una follow up question, is your turn. Karibu uulize tena. Rehema? Okay. I think it's done. Okay, kuna mwenye swali mwingine? Any question?
Yeah,
Niko na
naweza
swali. Niko na swali.
Yes, Benja, karibu.
Yes, kama kuna uwezekano wa foreigner akanunua government bond Tanzania, ukiachilia na stock na vitu kama vingine.
Okay, asante.
Mm.
Foreigner kwenye government bond iko capital account bado haijawa open kwa foreigners wote. Hivi sasa ni kwa EAC na SADC members. Wananchi wa Afrika Mashariki na SADC ndio wanaruhusiwa kuparticipate. Apart from that, hapana. Ila kwenye corporate bonds ambazo zinakuwa issued na kuwa listed hapa, there is no restriction. Kwenye equity, no restriction. Only on the government bond kuna hiyo restriction.
Namaanisha anaweza kununua bondi za makampuni na vitu kama hivyo vingine.
Yes, makampuni kama CRDB, NMB wanatoa bond, yani kwamba anaweza kanunua NBC, TMRC, zote wanaweza kanunua kwenye primary market na kwenye secondary market. Only restriction iko kwa government bond, na hii imekuwa uplifted. Mwananchi wa Afrika Mashariki anaruhusiwa kununua. Kwa mfano Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda anaweza kanunua. Wa SADC labda nchi zote za SADC anaruhusiwa. Aliyeko nchi zote za SADC anaruhusiwa. South Africa wapi wananunua. Yes.
Sasa ushauri wangu amuone kwamba serikali ina restrict kwamba inataka pesa nyingi. Kuna watu wengine wako sehemu tofauti, ama kuna foreigners wengine wako, they have a lot of money. Kwa sababu
sawa, tunaichukua ushauri, lakini kulikuwa na sababu za kimsingi kabisa za kufanya hivyo, na nazijua, lakini kwa sababu sometimes sio kila kitu ni public, ila kulikuwa na sababu za kimsingi, that's why wanaenda taratibu. Serikali kuna vitu ambavyo wanavimonitor, ikifika mahali watanani, kwa sababu kama paper kuandika, kufanya research, we have done a lot of that, lakini bado kuna vitu vya kimsingi kabisa, na wewe ukivijua vyote utaelewa kama ni Mtanzania au mwana East Africa au SADC.
Okay.
Yes.
Ukiangalia Kenya, nchi zingine wanaweza
wana nani, yes. Na hii pia sometimes unaweza do you know the crowding out effect, pia hiyo unaweza kai-associate na hiyo, lakini despite of that serikali ina maamuzi yake, ina utaratibu wake, ina procedure zake za kufanya mambo. Kwa hiyo hivyo, lakini as a market we see the point ya kwamba kuna haja ya ku liberalize capital account, lakini sasa haijafika. With the time I'm sure tutafika huko, kwa sababu na wenyewe wanachanganua kwa upana zaidi na kufikiria na kuona wenzetu wanafanyaje. Tutafika tu huko taratibu.
Okay, thank you.
Asante.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Heri, karibu.
Yes, asante. Nina mapendekezo actually kwenye lugha. Kwenye app yetu ya DSE hisa kiganjani naona hakuna option ya multiple languages, na investors sio wote wanaelewa Kiingereza. Tunajua kuna certified financial educator wanawafundisha wananchi wengine ni wa kawaida, lakini unakuta hawajui Kiingereza. Wakiingia kule wanakuta taarifa zote zipo kwa lugha ya Kiingereza. Tunaomba kama mnaweza mkatusaidia, kwa sababu even this presentation zinafanyika kwa lugha hiyo, kwa wanaweza wasi access taarifa muhimu zinazowahusu kwa sababu ya lugha. Sasa sijui mnatusaidiaje mkaliverage na teknolojia, pengine ukatumia lugha moja, lakini mtu anaweza kaweza kusikiliza kwa lugha yake na kaweza kaelewa vizuri. Asante.
It's something to take and work on it. We are promising to work on that and we'll come back to you guys on this matter. Haitaji hata tujitetee, something to take and work on it. But we promise you will provide feedback before 3 months maybe down the line. Okay, thank you, Eric. Is there any other question?
Yes, Cloud. Naweza nikaongea? Asante.
Yes,
okay. Ningeomba Madam Sarah aweze qualify kwenye 100 shares ambazo zinabadilisha bei. For what I have understood ni kwamba hata kama ni shares above 100 transaction ambazo zitahusika kwenye calculation ya volume weighted average price, lakini hata kama kuna shares ambazo ni lot chini ya 100 hazitahusika kabisa. Kwa mfano kwenye implication ilikuwa number 4 if I'm not mistaken, kama unaweza ukarudi kwenye number 4, unaweza ukarudi kwenye 100 shares closing price, ilikuwa inasema kwamba ita exclude Okay. Yes, here hapa number 4 kwamba the system will ignore trades less than 100 kwenye calculations. Hiyo imekaja hata kama nyingine zimetrade nyingi chini ya 100, lakini katokea mtu mmoja tu ametrade 100, meaning huyo ndo atakuwa base ya closing price kwenye calculation ya volume weighted average price.
Aurelia,
Ndio madam.
yaani umeuliza na umejijibu vizuri sana, kwa sababu
Nilitaka nilikuwa
nilitaka
najichanganya hapo.
hiyo confirmation ete
Mhm.
kwa sababu tumeshasema hapa ni kwa vile tu hatujarudisha odd lot. Hizo zote zingeenda kwenye odd lot, hizo ambazo ni less than 100
Okay.
hazingekuwa kwenye nomo. Yaani tunasema kwenye nomo yoyote inayo trade kuanzia 100 and above ndio ita calculate. Zinazo trade below hazita conclude. Hata kama zime trade below trade 800 alafu trade mbili zikawa ndio above 100, hizo mbili ndio zitatengeneza zitaenda kwenye calculation ya closing price.
Okay, hapo nimeelewa. Another question, sio question, ni kama kujua implications kwenye Citizen ID. Kwa Citizens ID imesema kwamba mandatory itakuwa NIDA, lakini McCloud kuna point ulisema kwamba hapo mbele mtaweza kuopen kutumia passport, lakini hii nadhani ulikuwa na imply kwenye MTP. Je, kwa wale ambao wanakuja direct kwa brokers hamwezi kuacha hiyo option ya passport?
Hatuwezi kuacha hiyo option
ya passport, wasije na ID peke na NIDA peke yake, kama ana NIDA na passport.
Unajua sasa hivi Aurelia, challenge kubwa ni ya kwamba how do you authenticate hizo data, na challenge kubwa hatutaki tuwe na aina mbili ya data, set ya data. Kuzi clean up inakuwa ni kazi pia. That's why tunaangalia wenzetu wanafanya nini na inasaidiaje ku clean up data. Ukiangalia kama kwenye MTP NIM ndio inatumika kwa sababu integration iko mpaka banks na banks wanatumia hivyo hivyo. Kwa based on the NIDA unapata clean data, na ukitaka kumtrace huyo investor unampata. Sio kwamba ije ifike mahali yani ya kwamba unatoa dividend unakuta more than 90% ya investors hawajachukua dividend. It's not worthy kwa dunia sasa. Kwa hiyo sasa tunachoangalia ni kwamba okay, how do we address the problem na collaboration na stakeholders mbalimbali katika kuwa na clean data in our CSD. So that move imetufanya sasa kuwa na NIM, kwa sababu NIM tumeona through the MTP inatuletea clean na ina maintain clean data in our CSD. So that's why tukai roll over na kwamba right now we want all data to be NIM compliant or NIDA compliant. Then sasa tunachoangalia, kwa mfano umeona kulikuwa na swali la foreigner hapa. Kuna foreigner anataka kuaccess MTP lakini hana nini. How do you address that? Hivi sasa hatumuaddress, lakini future plan ya kwamba ni kuona ni jinsi gani mifumo yetu sisi tutaintegrate na ya immigration. Tukifanya integration na immigration, maana yake wale immigration wanafanya KYC. Sasa tunachukua clean data, tuna exchange clean data ya immigration na ya kwetu. The same as tukifanya hivyo, tunaweza tukaintegrate na immigration labda ya Marekani, tukachukua clean data ya kule. Hivyo ndivyo system zinavyofanya kazi ili kuwa na clean data. Ndio hiyo plan ambayo nilikuwa naizungumza saa ile. Yes. Karibu kama
Okay, kwa hiyo
for
new clients wote watakuwa wanakuja na NIDA, lakini existing na mpango gani au itabaki kama ilivyokuwa?
Hapana, existing tunasema kabla, na nadhani kuna circular ilitoka ya DSE ya kwamba mteja yoyote ambaye ana exist sio NIN compliant au NIDA compliant, broker unatakiwa uhakikisha na comply na NIDA, kwa sababu ni kazi yako kufanya KYC. Na tulishatoa hii circular almost zaidi ya miezi mitatu, na tukasema okay, tukawaambia ya kwamba hata MTP right now inaweza kukusaidia kupata NIN compliant. Ni ya kwamba ni wewe mteja akija unamwambia aingie kwenye ajiregister kwenye nani MTP. Akifanya registration data yake unaipata, you proceed. Kwa hiyo ni requirement. Sasa hapa broker, ile issue niliyosema next compliance na next steps ni ya kwamba compliance CC na DSE au CMSA akija ataanza kukuuliza okay, percentage ngapi ya watu wako ni non compliant na percentage ipi sio non compliant. Utasema ni 80 kwa 20. Sasa anakuuliza what are the mechanism in place to ensure they are non compliant. Sasa mnaanza hapo kukubaliana okay, going forward nitakuwa na implement hichi na hichi, na tataka periodic reports ya kwamba how do you clean up your portfolio going forward. Yes, welcome Aurelia, if you have more.
Oh, asante umenijibu, lakini kwenye our existing naona
Yes.
sijui itachukua muda na itakuwa njema zaidi kama mtu labda akija kununua au kuuza ndo mtu afanye clean up.
Yes,
Hivyo
hiyo
hivyo
ni
kidogo
njia
kidogo
mojawapo.
mpaka
Pia hata njia
atakapomaliza.
nyingine unachoweza kufanya ni kwamba ni kuweza kwa sababu tunaamini ya kwamba every time you communicate with your investors, unawaambia, unawapa report mbalimbali ya kwamba kuna kitu fulani kimetokea kwenye counter. Kwa mfano sasa hivi watu wanatoa madividend. How do you communicate with your portfolio ya investors? Kwa hamasisha either wanunue au wauze au wakapokee dividend. Pia ni jukumu lako, pia unaweza kanani kwa ajili ya customer care. Unaweza kaitumia kama njia hiyo hiyo pia kuambia through this unaweza ukafanya 1 2 3 4 5. How do you work with your clients engagement na wao, inaweza ikakusaidia pia kuachieve your milestone. Lakini lazima tuwe na sehemu ya kuanzia, then going forward tunaanza kupunguza hiyo workload kidogo kidogo. Inachukua muda, lakini kila wakati kota ikiisha unakuwa labda watatu umeupdate. It's much better than kuto kuupdate kabisa. Yes, kama kuna swali or another question.
Hello.
Yes, Calvin,
Yes.
welcome.
Excuse me, while calculating volume weighted average price, are you rounding up or are rounding down?
Rounding. Because there is no points.
Assume CRDB has traded with the tick size maybe 805, 705. Then several of them have gone through by 100. Now calculating the average of that, you'll get some points. Or am I getting it wrong?
Size. Yeah, the nearest size. Yeah.
Okay, we'll answer that. Is that another question? Othman Fundi, kama kuna mtu ana outstanding order ya shares above 100, tuseme order ya kununua shares 500 ya kampani XY, lakini kwa sasa hakuna share hizo. Je, kuendelea kuriposti hiyo order ina fall under market manipulation pia? Okay, our chief trading officer is going to answer both of the questions.
Okay, for the closing price, we are around either up or down according to tick size. Suppose you get the CRDB shares price at 754. We will round up 755 upward, because going to 555 is nearer than going to 750. So we will round up or down according to the nearest tick size. Kama mtu ana outstanding order yake kuposti lakini kwa sasa hakuna share hizo, je, kuendelea kuriposti hiyo order ina fall under market? Hapana, hai fall under market manipulation. Market manipulation tunaiangalia pale ambapo trade imetokea, umeposti, execute share 100, kesho unarudia share 100, kesho kutwa share 100, wewe alafu with different price. Ina maana umeposti leo ukabadilisha price, Kesho unaposti wewe utabadilisha price kwa sababu ni 100. Hiyo itakuwa ni market manipulation.
Okay, we are almost.
Naomba kuuliza.
Yes, karibu.
Naomba maelezo kidogo ya ziada kwenye hiyo manipulation. Alieleza sister hapo, sijampata vizuri. Lakini la pili, ile mnatoa certification course kwa watu, kwa traders na watu investors na watu ambao wanashiriki kwenye soko. Ile course yenu kwa mwaka huu inafanyika lini?
Okay, asante.
Market manipulation.
Yes.
Okay, kwenye market manipulation nimesema market manipulation itatokea pale ambapo mtu order yake imekuwa executed, yani imematch. Suppose mtu anaweka order ya kununua, ataweka share 100 leo, atanunua, atapata zile shares. Kesho ataweka tena share 100 kwa price ya tofauti, kwa sababu kama umeweka leo 100, ina maana closing price ya leo itakuwa labda 500. Kesho kwa sababu tuna zile variation za cap limit, ataweka labda kwa 510 au 505, atanunua tena, atapata. Kesho kutwa ataweka 510, atanunua tena, atapata. Hapo ina maana alikuwa kuna price ambayo anataka kuipata ili either aje auze. Hiyo sasa ndio market manipulation. Lakini mimi na post order yangu leo 100, haija execute au haijapata mtu wa kumatch, ina maana itaendelea kukaa pale, kwa sababu una provision ya kuiacha kwenye system kwa siku 5. Itabaki pale pale. Kesho yake pia itaweza ikabaki vile vile, ukaamua sasa, kwa vile unaona price labda zinabadilika, niombe broker abadilishe au we cancel, urepost upya. Kwa hiyo tunaposema market manipulation, tunaangalia kwamba kunatokea execution na trend ya ile execution. Order ikiwa kwenye system hiyo inaweza ikakaa tu siku 2, siku 3, siku 4, siku 5. Hiyo sio market manipulation.
Asante, nimeelewa.
Okay, asante. Okay, kuna mtu anauliza, Alex anauliza, inachukua muda gani kwa outstanding shares to be processed? Okay, yes, nadhani moja inategemea na wewe price uliyoweka. Inaweza ikawa ni instant au ikawa ikachelewa kutokana na price uliyoweka mpaka ipate the match. So the issue here is not number of days outstanding. Sio siku ambayo inakaa bila kuwa processed. Hapana, ushaiweka inaenda kutafuta match, kwa sababu hapa ni mnada. Kuna anasema nauza shilingi 100, wewe ukisema unanunua kwa shilingi 100 ita match. Kama jana uliposti ukasema shilingi 100, ukatokea watu wanauza 200, leo wakauza shilingi 100, utauza au utanunua, ita match. So inategemea na both sides. Sokoni kwenye order book ipo yupo mnunuzi na muuzaji, wakimechi tu, prices ikimechi, basi transaction inatokea. Ila inaweza ikakaa hata siku 5 ika expire, then ukariposti ika expire, then ukariposti ika match. Mtu investor ambaye ana access ya our mobile trading platform, pale kuna AI iko pale, ambayo inachofanya ina suggest the right price, yani kutokana na ina average zile prices zote, kwa sababu kila mtu anaweka kwa bei yake, inakupa the best price. Ukiweza kuchagua ile au ukichagua ile automatically ita match. Ukienda down or upward kutokana na hizi tick size, basi inaweza ikasubiri sana pale mpaka ika expire au ikasubiri baadaye ika match. Na depend na wewe kabisa. Kama kuna mwingine mwenye another question please.
Another question, sorry.
Yes.
The litigation which are currently mahakamani at the moment, assume Vodacom wamedaiwa tena, wamepelekwa mahakamani. Does it trigger corporate action kwamba ikaongeza that what the period, the grace period.
Okay, thank
by
you.
2%. Or is my question not clear?
Anasema hebu rudia.
So for quite some time, we as investors of Vodacom, we have had the company has been taken to court due to several maybe cases. Huyu kadai hili na huyu kadai lile. Can we treat that as a corporate action? Who decide that this news is now a corporate action and this is not a corporate action? And how are you going to be communicating to us that now there is a corporate action and within these 5 days, it will be trading above 2%?
Okay, based on my understanding is, and what is corporate action is does that information, au hiyo kwenda mahakamani, does it have financial impact? Or
Yes,
is
it
it
does.
going to have a reputational or impact to the organization? If yes, sasa kuna vitu viwili kwenye rules. Je, hiyo inaweza ikawa contained within organization but few individuals? If no, disclose to the public. Investors na watu wote waelewe, wa trading wakiwa na hiyo information. If that information labda haina financial impact but is something may assess, may quantify within the organization, mkaiona haina reputational impact na haina financial impact, you can retain it in a strictly confidential and then you resolve it. Mkiimaliza, mkiona there is something to tell the public, mnaweza mkaja mkawaambia public, lakini tunawapa management na board power ya kuangalia, ya kujifanyia internal assessment. That's why board directors, management wa listed entities wote wanakuwa banned from dealing in securities za kampuni yao kama wana information hawana information. Tukatoa circular tukawaambia they need to undergo compliance check upande wao. Huku kwetu wakija kama hawajafanya compliance check huku kwetu kwao, sisi tutawakamata na tutaona mtu yoyote assume ni muite labda CEO wa Vodacom amedeal kwenye securities za Vodacom. Tayari mimi kwenye surveillance system huku yenyewe tu ina flag out, inaniletea, ina pop up kwenye screen hapa kwa management ya DSE. Lazima tushtuke. Huyu alikuwa na inside information, alikuwa na nini and so on. Kwa hiyo tuna communicate na tuna investigate, tukigundua alikuwa na inside information and then akadeal na hii is totally wrong. Hatakiwi kufanya hivyo na stern actions zinachukuliwa against them or against him or her. Kwa hiyo kuna hizo option ambazo za kufanya, lakini wakiona hawawezi wakai-contain within the organization, they have to disclose instantly so that investors they make informed decision. Okay, if there is another question, we are about to close. Kuna watu walijoin wakashindwa, watatusamehe kwa sababu tulikuwa tumefikia the maximum number ya participants, lakini sasa hivi nimeona imeshuka, but kuna recorded, we will share with the public kwenye hii pia.
Ninaomba msaada
Yes,
kwenye
karibu.
last session nilishindwa kuingia mwenyewe kwa sababu nadhani ilikuwa imejaa. Tena nilijitahidi lakini nilikwama. Kwa hiyo nilikuwa naomba kwanza kupata msaada wa link kama kwa maana labda tunatuma email ili niweze kufuatilia darasa lililopita, niweze kuwa aware kidogo na kile ambacho tumediscuss.
Okay, sawa. Tutafanya hivi. Na pia next sessions tutaendelea nazo Jumamosi asubuhi na jioni. Tuta cross check internally hapa tuone tuendelee nazo pia.
Sorry,
on
McLeod.
Yes.
McLeod, I posted a question on the chat kuulizia kama we are going to receive this copy of the detailed amended and approved rules kwa watu ambao tulishindwa kuingia mara kwanza ili kuzireview hizi zilizobadilika.
Yes, ambacho tutakifanya tutaziweka kwenye DSE website. Nadhani itakuwa ni rahisi kwa sababu hapa watu wote hatuna email zao. Otherwise tushare kwenye ile email tulizozituma. Ila naamini tukiziweka kwenye website pale mtu yeyote anaweza ka download. Kwa sababu hata zile rules zizo change zile in summary tumeweka pale. Pia na hii PowerPoint we can put there. Tunaomba after few hours from now mwingie kwenye DSE website, you can download this PowerPoint. Yes.
So na kwa kipindi kilichopita tunakipataje?
Naam.
I mean session iliyopita tunapataje linki?
Session.
Ndio, nimeeleza hapa.
Okay. Session iliyopita utakachoweza nani unaingia kwenye YouTube ya DSE utaipata.
Okay,
otherwise kama unaweza ukatutumia email kwenye complaints@dsc.co.tz please tutakutumia.
Okay, asante sana, asante.
Asante. Na hiyo email pia unaweza ukaiaccess kama unashindwa kuipata, unaweza ukaiaccess kwenye website, I think so. Kwenye contact pale utazipata.
McLeod.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible, especially I'm coming back to you on the issue ya hii corporate action.
Yes.
Is it possible mka activate your kwenye DSE app hisa kiganjani kuna what we call trading tips.
Okay.
Is it possible mka update ama mka activate that section so that we have an insight that okay fine, now there is a window of 5 days that the trading rules will increase by 2% plus or minus, will increase or decrease. Kwa sababu my worry if we don't have any platform ambayo ina to guide, there is this window of 5 days, you won't know when it is starting, when it is closing.
Okay, naomba nichukue. I cannot promise timeline kwa sababu ni mtu wa timeline. Nikiahidi napenda tuahidi na time na ili uweze kufanya follow up. Lakini naomba nichukue. We will sit with the team kwa sababu hata hii meeting nadhani CEO is in na all heads na management team yote ipo. Ni promise tunalichukua, tutalifanyia kazi na specifically ni Kelvin umeuliza, tunaomba tuwasiliane na sisi au tutawasiliana na wewe tukupe feedback and the public. Lakini tulichukua tulifanyie kazi tuone jinsi gani tunaweza tukaiaddress hiyo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, naomba niwape wadau hapa 1 minute ya kuclose up then tumalize. Naomba nianze na head wa risk and compliance, Madam Happiness.
Asante, mimi sina mengi, ni kukumbusha tu market players, all compliance officers kuwa conversant na the code of conduct in the DSE rules ili kuhakikisha kwamba soko letu liko salama, tunalinda integrity ya soko letu na tunaweza kuwasaidia investors na kulikuza soko kwa pamoja. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Happy. Wakili msomi. Jacqueline.
Asante McLeod. Sina mengi, ila tunapenda kuwashukuru sana kwa hii fursa ya kuweza kupata elimu kwa wote kwa pamoja kuhusiana na amendment ya rules zetu zilizofanyika. Kikubwa tu kama Happiness alivyoelezea ni kutilia mkazo kwamba tujitahidi kucomply na kuweza kuzisoma vizuri na kuzielewa vizuri na kuzitekeleza. Asanteni sana.
Okay, tunashukuru Jackie. Madam Sarah.
Nashukuru sana kwa wote mlio join kwenye hii session. Brokers, please Ninaomba mzisome vizuri, muelewe, muwaelimishe wananchi, muwaelimishe clients wenu. Mkiwa na maswali, ninaomba msisite kuuliza, ili tutakapoenda live hiyo tarehe 2 wote tuwe kwenye same page. Na tumeamua kufanya hii public education ili watu wengi waelewe, watu wengi wajue. Hata custodian najua wanaulizaga maswali. Wanapokuja na maswali sasa, watakuwa at least wamepata hizi information, wamepata uelewa. Wale investor wetu wa nje waweze kujua ni nini ambacho kinakwenda kutokea. Na kwa brokers ambao kuna traders, naomba tusiwe watu wa kuharibu hizi rules. Tuliomba changes kwa muda mrefu, tumezipata. Sasa naomba tuzitumie kwa akili ili kuendeleza soko letu. Enhancement of liquidity itatokea hapa kama tutafanya vizuri na comply na rules zetu na standard ambazo tunataka soko letu liende. Shukrani sana, tuendelee kuwasiliana pale ambapo kutakuwa na maswali zaidi.
Okay, asanteni sana na mimi ni washukuru on behalf of the rest ambao hawakuongea lakini wako humu ndani. Tunawashukuru sana kwa kushiriki, na pia DSE iko open kila siku kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni. Kama kuna mtu ana shida specific kwenye area yoyote, unaweza ukawasiliana na brokers, ukawasiliana na custodian banks, au ukawasiliana na stakeholders yoyote wa DSE. Otherwise, please, we are happy to serve you. Karibuni DSE, na ukipata changamoto yoyote usisubiri kupiga simu. Kama unaona hata simu haziendi, njoo ofisini direct, first floor, Exchange Tower Morocco hapa. We are happy to serve you. Asanteni sana na karibuni sana DSE, na karibuni kwenye webinar nyingine ambazo tutazifanya. Jumamosi tutakuwa nayo, tutaitangaza, watu wetu wa communication watatangaza, lakini tunawashukuru sana. Asanteni sana na bye bye.
Thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye bye. Isaac.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.